Hello everybody, how's it going? It's Voodoo51292 here, and welcome to my first ever question and answer video. Now, I don't have a fancy name for this series yet. I haven't actually come up with one. Maybe that's something that you guys can do if you'd like, is to kind of come up with a name for this question and answer series, because it will be ongoing. But this is the first edition of it. We're going to be looking at questions that people left in the comment section of a video I uploaded a couple weeks back called Q&A Time. So I have some really good questions here. I'm going to go ahead and start answering them so that we don't ramble on and take too terribly long. So here we go. So the very first question asked is by a user by the name of Slitka. And this person asked, have you ever thought about or planned to live stream games that you play? It's a good question. And the answer to the question is I cannot live stream games that I'm doing a playthrough of, because I do not have good enough internet to stream the games I want, or to stream any games in HD. And the problem is with the software I use, the Elgato Game Capture, it captures in whatever quality you're streaming at. And of course I record in 720p, but I can't stream in 720p. So unfortunately, I can't live stream because I can only live stream like at most at 480p, and that's what I'd have to record at. And I don't want to do that. And so I can't live stream stuff that I'm doing a playthrough of. Now, if there's games that I play that I'm not doing a playthrough of, like I'm doing like Devil May Cry right now, I'm playing that off camera and stuff, then I can stream it because I don't have to worry about recording it. Problem with that is I don't know if I'd really have an audience for that type of thing. I've tried live streaming some things in the past, and no one comes out to the streams. So if people express interest in seeing me live stream stuff that I'm not doing playthroughs of, then yeah, you know, when I sit down, I'm just playing a game that I'm not doing a full playthrough of, I might consider streaming it. But unless I know people are interested in that, there's really no point in doing it. So it's a good question. Then he asked another question: cheese quesadilla or chicken quesadilla? I'm going to have to go with chicken, because I don't really know how a cheese quesadilla would fill me up unless I ate like 2 of them. I mean, when I'm hungry, I want some freaking meat, you know what I mean? I need to like fill myself out. I just eat cheese and tortillas, and it's not going to really fill me up, you know what I mean? Now, my favorite is steak. Give me steak all day. Steak quesadilla is the best. But if my only choices are cheese or chicken, I'm going to go with chicken because I want to be full, you know what I mean? So, alright, those are the questions from Slitka. Now, Tom Harding asks a really good question. He says, if you could have any game that has been released in the last 20 years remade and improved for next gen, which game would it be? Well, 20 years is a long freaking time. It's basically as long as I've been alive. So, there's a lot of games to choose from in there. But the game that I would have to go with to be remade for consoles would be System Shock 2. Now, System Shock 2, for those of you who don't know, was written and created by Ken Levine, who is the guy who wrote and directed BioShock 1 and BioShock Infinite, my favorite 2 games of all time. He obviously, by default, is my favorite game developer and creator of all time. He made System Shock 2. I believe it came out in '99, if I'm not mistaken. But more or less, people refer to System Shock 2 as the spiritual precursor to BioShock. They took a lot of things that were done in System Shock 2 and transferred them over and incorporated them into BioShock. So obviously this is a game that is made by my favorite game creator. And on top of that fact, it's widely regarded as one of the top FPS games ever made. And it's definitely atop the list of, you know, the best survival horror first-person shooter made. And it was really revolutionary at the time it came out. It changed a lot of things. It had a lot of influence in gaming. And really, the reason I think it's a perfect candidate for a re-release on consoles is it was a PC-only game. And it remains only a PC-only game. So console gamers never got to experience System Shock 2. And because it was such an influential game, it was such a good game, you know, the spiritual precursor to the BioShock series, I feel like that game is a perfect game to be remade in HD, maybe to bring some of the older mechanics from '99, maybe tweak them, you know, make them a little bit more modern so that they appeal to the more modern audience. and release those on console. That way, a whole different area of gamers, console gamers, can experience System Shock 2. The game would be amazing, remade in HD. It was scary as hell when it came out at the time. Imagine how scary it would be now. System Shock 2, I've seen about half a playthrough of it. It's basically a mix of BioShock and Dead Space. It's pretty much BioShock done in Dead Space. So it was scary as hell when it came out. It would be way scarier now if they redid it in HD and put it on modern consoles. I really want that to happen. If there was some way that, I know Ken Levine and Irrational Games are with 2K, if they could find a way to get together and actually make this a reality, it would be freaking amazing. So System Shock 2 would be my pick for any game I could have remade, and improved and released on these consoles. It'd be System Shock 2, but it's a really good question. Now this next question kind of confuses me a little bit. It's by a user named Lamat771, and it has 3 thumbs up, and it is, do you like Lexus cars? Now, I don't know if there's something that's been going on recently with Lexus or something in the news, and this is kind of a question about that, or if it's just, in general, do you like Lexus cars? Because I'm kind of confused why it has 3 thumbs up. It's kind of an interesting question, but if there is anything going on with Lexus, I don't know about it. But just in general, yeah, I mean, Lexus cars are cool. They're outside of my price range. I drive a Mazda 3, but yeah, I think Lexus is cool. One of my really good friends whose family is well off, he has a Lexus, and it's a really sweet car. And my dad, before he has the car he had now, he had a pre-owned Lexus, and it was pretty nice. So yeah, I mean, if I could have any car that I wanted, Lexus wouldn't be my first choice, but I think Lexus makes nice cars. So there you go. Alright, so this next user asks a ton of questions, and that's fine. I mean, that's great with me. The more questions, the merrier, but I'm going to answer all of her questions. Basically, I'm going to go through and answer all the questions she asked at the same time. So the first question she asked is, do you have any other hobbies besides playing video games? Honestly, not really. The only other thing that I'm really interested in is sports, mainly football, American football. Although I do like international football as well. But, and I know it might be kind of weird because video games and sports don't always mix, but I am a football fanatic. I love it. Eat, sleep, and breathe it. And like college basketball, I really like as well. I'm not too big on the NBA, but I do like the college game. And like I said, soccer, every now and then when it comes around, I like the international events, like the UEFA Cup, certainly the World Cup, and stuff like that. I'm really interested in and like that kind of stuff. I'm not really into baseball or some of the other sports, but yeah, basically, other than that, my hobby is watching sports and talking about sports and all that other kind of stuff. But video games are basically my main #1 hobby. Next question, do you speak any other languages besides English? I do not. I am monolingual. I speak only English. Outside of taking some Spanish classes in high school and a couple of Latin classes, that's the extent of my speaking. I only speak English. I know it's nice and it's cool to be able to speak more than one language. I just can't do it. Do you watch anime? If so, do you have any favorites? I actually do not watch anime. It is just not for me. I have tried it a few times, and it's just not something that I'm interested in. As a kid, I used to watch stuff like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon every now and then. But I don't, now, at this time, I don't watch any anime, and it's just not my thing. There's nothing wrong with it, I just don't happen to like it. So then she continues with an interesting question. She asks, how about some pharmacy school advice? For those of you who don't know, I've already applied. I'm actually just waiting my letter of acceptance or denial from pharmacy school for the fall. So she asks, how about some pharmacy school advice? I wanted to go for it last spring, but I chickened out. I'm scared I won't make it to the end. Seems really tough. What classes have you taken so far? Has it been very expensive for you? Whatever tips you think anyone going into that field should know would be awesome. Okay, so pharmacy school advice. First of all, you said you chickened out. don't ever be scared of anything. Don't ever be scared to go for your dream. If you're thinking about going to pharmacy school, you're obviously very intelligent. Because if you weren't, you wouldn't even consider pharmacy school because, you would know that that's not really your future. So, you're obviously very intelligent. Don't be scared to go for it. As far as, being tough, I mean, yeah, it's just like any professional school, or secondary education. It's tough. It's challenging, because you're competing with just a huge amount of people all trying to get into a limited amount of space in a particular school. And obviously, the better the school you apply to, the tougher it is to get in. So yeah, I mean, you got to have good grades. Extracurriculars and all help. So it's not easy. As far as what classes I've taken for it, I mean, you don't, for a lot of pharmacy schools I know, you do not actually need a bachelor's degree from college to apply to pharmacy school. You just need to take a certain number of hours of prerequisites. You don't have to get a degree, you can just go straight into the pharmacy program. For myself, I'm getting a degree first. I'm getting my Bachelor's of Science degree first. So, as far as what classes I've taken, it's basically just been all of your classes basically to get a Bachelor of Science degree as an undergraduate. Now there's some classes that you're going to have to take to go into pharmacy school regardless if you get a degree. Stuff like your basic biologies, your basic chemistries with labs, your organic chemistries with labs, biochemistry, math of some variety, either calculus or statistics. You're going to need to take like an English composition class. For my school that I'm applying to, I also had to take an economics course and a public speaking course, as well as a medical ethics course that I'm taking this semester. So there's some pretty common classes you're going to have to take, regardless of the school you go to, that they're going to want to see. As far as being expensive, I don't particularly know what you mean, like asking what has been very expensive. I mean, I've just been, the funds for going to school, for paying for going to college. I'm on scholarship, so for me, my tuition is free. Other than that, it's just been the expenses of, going to college. It can be pretty expensive, especially if you're not on scholarship. I'm lucky enough to be on one, so I don't have to, pay tuition or anything. But yeah, I mean, books and all are expensive. College is expensive, so. Outside of just the regular, I mean, I haven't really had to pay much of anything to apply to pharmacy school, except I had to pay some money to go take the PCAT test, which is the Pharmacy College Admissions Test, and a little bit of money to apply, but nothing really too expensive. As far as just tips, again, first of all, make sure that you pick the school that you really want to go to, and then once you've done that, be sure to keep in mind at all times, what are their requirements as far as classes that you need to take, as far as GPA. Some schools require the PCAT, some do not. Mine did, required me to take it, some do not. Just pay attention to what they need, the requirements they need, and the dates that they need them. Letters of recommendation are a big one. That type of stuff, you're going to want to look all this stuff up way early in advance and try to get stuff done early. You don't want to be going around at the last minute trying to get stuff in, because there's a good chance you'll screw it up and not get it in at the deadline, or if you rush it, it won't be well done. So just get everything in order. Make sure you understand all the requirements that you need to fulfill to apply to your particular school, and start early. I can't emphasize that enough. Get stuff done ahead of time, and just make sure that you pay attention to the deadlines of stuff and get stuff in on time, because it's really important. Other than that, just do your best in school. Make good grades. If you can do extracurriculars, that helps to kind of set you apart. I didn't really do any extracurriculars at school, but my GPA was really, really strong, and I got strong letters of recommendation and such. So for me, I don't think it's going to be that big of a hindrance. But if your GPA isn't the strongest or whatever, having some extracurriculars to back up your resume isn't bad. I would look into some work experience in the medical field of some point, just to put that on a resume, to say that you've got experience either working or shadowing a pharmacist or something like that is good to put on a resume. So yeah, I mean, my only I mean, my tip is just get stuff done ahead of time, and then just do well in school and try to do some resume builders, if you get my drift. Some extracurriculars, some work experience in that field. All, really good stuff that they're looking at when they're looking at your application. All right. And finally, she asked, what is your all-time favorite gaming console / game and why? Well, I always said my favorite game is BioShock, followed by BioShock Infinite. My favorite gaming console, I really didn't become a very hardcore gamer until this past generation. I had owned some previous systems, a Sega Genesis, a Nintendo 64, Sega Dreamcast, PS2, but I didn't really play games hardcore on them. I really didn't play many games until this past generation. PS3 and Xbox 360, and out of the two, I happen to like the 360 somewhat better than PS3, so for favorite gaming console, I'm going to go with Xbox 360, and I just explained why. So, that's all the questions. This user's name is Kendra Dessou, and those were all the questions she asked, so thank you for asking all those questions, really good questions, and I hope I provided some good advice for you on pharmacy school. If you want to get in touch with me, through messages or whatever, and get some more detailed advice, be sure to do that. I'll be more than happy to provide it to you, because honestly, we need more pharmacists in the field. We need more people in this profession, because it kind of gets overlooked. So anything I can do to help, you just let me know. Alright? So thanks for the questions. Moving on. The next user is Wee10. And he asks, after starting your career and getting your own home, is there the possibility of you getting into PC gaming? It's a good question. Just checking my battery life. It's a good question. The answer is yes. There's a strong possibility of it. Reason being is that I've really wanted over this past year to build a gaming PC for multiple reasons. First of all, I want to do PC gaming. Amazing sales, first of all, on Steam and all this kind of stuff. I can play all kinds of games for really cheap that you just can't get for that cheap on the consoles. And PC gaming is just kind of cool, to be honest with you. I mean, with all the fan mods, with how amazing the graphics can look on PC, stuff like that. And I really want a PC, like a desktop PC, to be a hub for me to run my channel from, meaning a place I can put my videos onto, a place that I can do video editing. I really just want like a beastly computer that I can use as a gaming computer and a hub to run my channel, and because right now I'm running my channel through my laptop basically. So my hard drive of my laptop is always taken up by videos. It does not have really good video editing, processing. And so when I do video editing on the laptop, it takes a really long time to get it done, and it's kind of tedious. And so and I know you can build a really good gaming PC for around $600-700. I just don't have that kind of money. Now, as far as after getting my career going, well, you're talking a good number of years in the future. I mean, if I get into pharmacy school, I still have 4 more years of pharmacy school before I even become a pharmacist. Then I get out and get to start my career. So you're talking at minimum 4 years down the road. But yeah, it may take that long to get enough money to build one. But I really, really do want to get up to gaming PC. There's a very strong, probable chance that at someday I will build myself a gaming PC, get into it. I have no idea if this channel will still be around at that point. I hope it is, but we'll see. And yeah, I mean, I really have been wanting a gaming PC. I just don't have $600-700 to spend to build one. But the answer to your question is yes, there's a strong possibility of that happening. So we have 2 more questions here. The first one is from Alec Plumley, who asks, what YouTubers influence you in the way of producing your videos, and what gamers do you personally watch on YouTube or other sites? Well, as many of you know, DSP, Darkside Phil, was the real inspiration for this channel, and I actually modeled a lot of the way I do stuff off DSP. Unfortunately, DSP turned out to be kind of a D-bag, and I don't like him anymore. So I no longer watch DSP on YouTube. However, a lot of the stuff that's on my channel originally began that was influenced by him. So yeah, there's some similarities between what I do and what he does. The differences lie in how I act and how I treat people. But yeah, so, honest truth is he inspired a lot of the stuff that's on my channel and how I do things. Currently, you know, I don't watch any more Let's Play channels. DSP was the only one, and after I stopped watching his stuff, I tried to get into some other people's Let's Play channels, and I just couldn't. I've been watching DSP for too long, and when I tried to get into other guys' Let's Play channels, I just couldn't find one that I got into. I tried a lot of the bigger guys like the Rad Brad and a couple of the other ones, and I just couldn't get into it. I'm sure there's probably somebody out there that I would enjoy watching their Let's Play channel. I just don't know about them. But the ones I've seen, I haven't really got into. But the channel I do watch now, it's a channel called Some Ordinary Gamers. Now they don't do like what I do. They don't do full playthroughs of new games and all this kind of stuff, or put out as much content as I put out. It's run by a guy named Mudahar, and I was subscribed to this channel before they even had 1,000 subs. So I found him very early on. The channel now has over 200,000 subs. It's got about 100,000 subs more than DSP Gaming, which is good because he deserves it. And he does really interesting stuff. He does, you know, when I found him, he was doing stuff called like Haunted Gaming, where he sits there and he'll read these things called creepypastas. For those of you who don't know, creepypastas are like made-up stories that made-up horror stories that people write. And he does creepypastas based on gaming. People write, you know, these fake horror stories about video games or games that they've played, and, you know, scary stuff happens. Well, he'll read these and like comment on them and do stuff. He also plays some scary games, but he's not like PewDiePie. He's actually like a real person. And he's branched out and done some other things. You know, he does stuff like he does do Minecraft every now and then, but not really that much. He's done other stuff like he has a series called What the Fuck Gaming, where he sits there and plays these really weird ass games on the PC, like these crazy games you can get off the internet and stuff, and they're hilarious. And he does a lot of different things, but he's really good, he's really funny, and he's a really, really, really good guy. So I would say, you know, I'm going to plug him right here. Some Ordinary Gamers, go check him out. I think he's great. And that's really the only channel gameplay-wise that I watch currently. And he was the one that inspired me to do the face cam, because he does a face cam, and I found when I was watching his videos that I really appreciated the fact that he had a face cam, and realized how much more I enjoyed his videos because of the face cam, and thought about how I wouldn't probably like his stuff as much if he didn't have the face camera. So go check out Some Ordinary Gamers. He's a really good dude. He really, really cares about his fans. His fans love him. Everything he does is for the fans, and it's fantastic. And you know the best part about this guy is he has 100,000 more subscribers in DSP Gaming. He still goes to college, and he works at a real job, all while having this YouTube channel, which is great. And he's a really good dude, so go check him out. He's the guy I pretty much watch right now, and that's basically it. Otherwise, I just play games on my own and haven't gotten into another Let's Play channel. So we have one more question, and it is from JP the Warrior, a very long time viewer of mine. And he asks, what kinds of movies do you like to watch? It's interesting because I'm not really that much of a movie watcher, I have to say. I don't really watch that many movies. I guess I have like ADD or short attention span. There's not a lot of movies that can capture my interest for an hour and a half to 2 hours. But I do watch movies on occasion. The movies that I like basically all the movies Christopher Nolan has written. I really like. Obviously all the Dark Knight series, Inception, it was really good. What was the other one? The Prestige was really good. I actually want to see the movie Memento that he wrote. So I like his movies. Of course, you know, I watch like a lot of the superhero adaptation films. I loved the Bryan Singer X-Men movies. I really like that. I liked X-Men First Class. I've seen a bunch of the other ones like Captain America, the Iron Man series, all that kind of stuff. And I do like, on occasion, to watch a horror flick. And there's not that many good ones out there, to be honest with you, but even if it's a bad one, it's still funny to watch because you can just make fun of it and laugh at it. So I have two reactions to horror movies. I either am cracking up laughing the entire time I'm watching it, or I'm scared shitless. Those are really my only two reactions. And I can honestly say the scariest movie I ever saw, and I saw it in theaters, was Paranormal Activity 1. That movie scared the hell out of me, and I loved it. Now the series is degraded into complete shit. I mean, 1 was really good, 2 was decently good, and then after that, it's just gone into shit. Now they have like a spin-off. It's just terrible. But yeah, and you know, I do watch comedies every now and then. I actually just watched the other night with my girlfriend. This Is the End. I just watched that movie the other night. I like the Jonah Hill, Michael Cera movies and stuff. I think those are pretty funny, like Superbad and all that. I don't like the romantic comedies. That's not my thing at all. Oh yeah, like The Hangover. I love The Hangover. I thought it was hilarious. So yeah, I watch a good variety of movies, but I don't really watch them that often. I certainly don't go to theaters because it's so damn expensive. I'm like, why would I pay that much money? Like, there's only like a couple movies where I would be like, I don't want to wait for DVD. I want to go see it in theaters. But other than that, I'm like, why the hell would I pay that money to go see it in a movie theater? I could just wait and rent it for like $3. But anyway, yeah, Man of Steel, that came out last year. I really liked that movie. I thought it was really well done. Again, Nolan had a hand in that movie, so that's pretty much the answer to that question. So that does it, guys, for my first question and answer video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope I gave good answers to everybody who asked questions. I will be doing this again. Probably in like another week or so, I'll be making another quick video where you guys can post questions in the comments. I'll wait for the questions to pile up again, and then I'll make a new video. Like I said at the start of this video, in the meantime, if you guys want to think up of a creative name, I'm terrible at thinking up creative names to stuff. I'm awful at it. So, if you guys can think up of a creative name that I can name this series, that would be great. Because, like I said, I'm bad at it. But yeah, so if you want to think up of a cool name, go for it. Suggest them to me, and yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed this video. Like I said, I'll be making another one. I'll be posting up another video where you can ask questions on in about a week. And yeah, so I got a frog in my throat today. It's bothering me. Anyway, this is Voodoo. This has been my first ever question and answer video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys again real soon. So until then, peace out.